because rule number 1, don't take your break on the unit. Hey guys, it's the Bougie Nurse and welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to be taking you guys into work with me and showing you what I do throughout my 12-hour shift. So prior to going inside, my hospital requires us to do a COVID questionnaire, and basically you fill out your information and they ask, have you been exposed to COVID? Do you have any symptoms like COVID? And have you traveled within the past 2 weeks? We're going to answer no, submit, and get our green pass. And let's head on inside. Can't forget your mask. Cannot forget your mask. Now, once we head inside, you get a sticker on your badge which pretty much says that you've answered the question. So if you want to go out the hospital to get breakfast or lunch or whatever the case may be, you can come back in without having to fill the questionnaires all over again. So once I get report and I've said my hello to my patient, introduce myself, I like to pick a CAL, computer on wheels, or I know some people call it a WOW, workstation on wheels, and I like to clean it and disinfect it because the hospital is full of germs and we don't know what was on it, so I like to clean off all the surfaces that I'm going to be using. Once I'm done cleaning everything off, I like to read up on my patients. So I want to know what they're here for, what we're treating them for, what time their medication is due, and as well as what the doctor's orders are. So I have a few patients that are on telemonitoring, a few patients that need blood sugar monitoring. I also have a lab that's due in about 2 hours, and writing it all down just helps me stay organized throughout my shift. Next, I'll be pulling out my medication. So at this facility, we have a Pyxis machine, and the Pyxis basically responds to your fingerprint. And once you put in your fingerprint, you can see all the patients on the unit and pull out all the medications you need to pull out. So on this particular shift, I have 5 patients, which means I have a lot of medications to pull. Pretty much what I like to do is pull out all my meds for the duration of my shift. So if I have heparin that's due now, and then I also have heparin that's due at 6 a.m., I'm gonna pull the heparin twice. I just like to pull my medication once and get it over with. So once I'm done pulling my meds, I now will get my supplies for the shift. You can never go wrong with too many sandy wipes, and you definitely need flushes to flush your IV lines, to flush your medication. You need your needles and your syringes because you do have your IV push medications and your sub-Q medications. And being that we are in a pandemic, you have to have your PPE, your personal protective equipment, and that just helps us stay safe and protected throughout the shift. Personally, I like to use that outside wrapping as a scarf for my neck. I know some nurses like to put it over their head to protect their hair. I know some people like to use it as a surface on their cowl. To each their own, use it for whatever you feel like using it for. Well, being that this is a COVID unit, I like to gown up for every single patient, even if they don't have the COVID-19 listed as one of their diagnoses. That just helps me feel safe throughout my shift. And of course, hand hygiene as always. This particular N95 that I'm wearing, although it gives me the best suction and the best seal against the virus, I don't really like it because it causes me to break out so bad. But what can we do, right? We just have to do it. And now we can begin our medication administration. So this paper is given to the nurses by the charge nurse. It has your name, although my name is spelled wrong, but nonetheless, it says when you're due for an admission, what time is your break, and who is to cover you for your break. Once I'm done my assessment on my patients, I like to sit at the nurses station and start on my documentation. As you can see, my surgical cap is different. And the reason for this is because I completed this video through the span of 3 shifts. So my first shift got super crazy. I had a code and I couldn't finish recording because code documentation takes forever. During my second shift, I believe I had a patient that was being super aggressive and we had to medicate them, and it just got super busy and I wasn't able to record. So it took me a total of 3 shifts to put this video out. Due to HIPAA and protecting patients' privacy, I'm not able to show exactly what I'm documenting on the patient, but pretty much I'm going to be documenting if they have any wounds, what IVs they have, how is my patient's mental status. My hospital system uses Epic and I love Epic. I feel Epic is super user-friendly. I can also shoot the doctor a text message if I need them because sometimes they're not always able to answer the page, but shooting them a message allows them to put in new orders if I need them. So I am now on my lunch break. I usually like to take my lunch break not in the break room because rule number 1, don't take your break on the unit because if shit hit the fan, your break is over. But kind of feeling kind of lazy tonight, so I just came in here. So on this particular night, I had some Chinese food, shrimp with mixed vegetables, and white rice. To be honest, I usually do not eat on night shift. I actually prefer to take a nap. So for me, it's either eat or sleep because I never do both. But on this particular night, I was super hungry, so I ordered some food and decided not to take a nap. So my break is officially over and I am now currently in the doctor's lounge. There's never any doctors in here. I can literally count on less than 3 fingers on the amount of times that the doctors have been in this room. It's currently empty, which is why I do not have my mask on. It just helps me take a breather because wearing that mask for 13 hours is a killer. And as my shift comes to a close, I just like to look over my orders, make sure I did everything that I needed to do. If I can, I like to finish out my shift without leaving anything over for the next nurse, but sometimes these doctors put in orders at the last minute like they did to me today. They put in an order at 7:57 for a stat medication, which I had to get and give to the patient. My shift is pretty much over at 8:30, but at 8 o'clock is generally when we give report to the oncoming nurse. And it's now time for us to give report and head home. Officially going home. Although my shift technically ends at 8:30, I can't tell you how many times I've actually left at 8:30. 9 times out of 10, I'm leaving at 9 o'clock because we have huddle and sometimes the nurses come late, but it is what it is. All right. So that pretty much concludes the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!